Welcome to the Hot Stove Society Show on Cairo Radio. It's Chef Tom Douglas joined in the kitchen here at the Hot Stove with Chef Terry Rotero. We come to you from the Hotel Andra, beautiful hotel Andra at 4th and Virginia, downtown Seattle, right upstairs from Lola Restaurant. When I was in an Uber this morning.
Why?
Because I had to take my car into the collision shop.
Oh.
Yeah. So when I was in an Uber this morning, I said, he said, "You're going to Lola? Oh, that's my favorite place to send guests for breakfast." So I gave him a $20 tip.
Oh, as you should.
And I knew when he said send people for breakfast that he wasn't just joshing me.
I know.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's a legendary for
you're
the
listening
breakfast.
to us on Cairo, of course. We've been here for over 20 years and thankful that you're jumping in with us. Whether you do that or not on live terrestrial radio or you find us online in our podcasts, either way, we appreciate being with you.
We love you. We love you very much.
Of course, we're taped here at the Hot Stove Society kitchen here in downtown Seattle. And if you want to buy a ticket and have some breakfast with us and share a hot cup of coffee, you can go to the Hot Stove website and we'll take care of things from there. A big show today. Our producer Pamela has written many extraordinary topics for us to discuss, including the blueberries, which we're fighting the robins for. It seems to be the robins in particular are taking our blueberries as they ripen. And they're very discerning.
Oh, they only pick the ripe ones.
Oh, my God.
They're so smart.
How do they know?
The
Those guys
smell.
are really good.
Yeah,
we
they're
should
really
hire them
good.
for picking.
You would think that there's some like little instinct in them that maybe.
In fact, that's true.
Yeah, I bet they can smell the sugars.
Yep.
Amy Weems is here. She is part of our team here at the Tom Douglas Restaurant Group, and she's the sauce boss. She's here to talk about hot dame sauce. You call it Dom or Dame? Hot dame sauce. And the local condiment scene. If you haven't seen it, in Metropolitan or Seattle Met magazine, there's a great article on condiments that are made locally and here in town. Even included Rub with Love, Chef.
I perused through the whole article and I was like, they don't have Tom in here? And finally I found it.
You know, I'm a has-been in many of the local media's eyes.
You know what they did? They put it in alphabetical order and R is at the end.
Oh, good save, Terry.
Yeah.
Thank
Chef
you.
Terry,
exactly
if you're watching us on our YouTube channel, Chef Terry has brought a plethora of herbs from his garden and has them all laid out in front of his microphone today. Terry, just give us a quick rundown on what you have and why you brought them. I mean, quick. This is.
I just went to my garden this morning. So there is Thai basil, lemon verbena, red rib sorrel, thyme, bay leaf, sage, Mexican sage, borage, lemon balm, chives, celery, lovage, mint, rosemary, and plenty of edible flour, corn flour, blue corn flour.
I'm assuming at some point in our show today we're going to talk about all those and why you brought them.
Oh no, we're not going to talk about.
Oh
it.
no, we're not going to talk
about. It.
We've got an ordinary to extraordinary next level appetizers. Summertime means lobster rolls, and lobster rolls are kind of becoming like the fish taco. You know, it used to be fish taco. You go to a Tex-Mex restaurant or something like that. Now they're a bit ubiquitous. They're at my golf club. They're at Seatown. I mean,
They seem to
and
be
lobster
very
rolls
popular.
seem to be.
I have one advice. Let's diversify because they don't grow so fast. We're going to run out. So let's diversify and use other ingredients besides lobster.
Well, I will tell you that's a good idea, but people want lobster rolls. It's amazing.
I can get them with something else.
And lastly, of course, we're going to finish our show today, the final segment of our second hour with Rub with Love, Food for Thought, Tasty Trivia. We have some guests that have come in trash talking us like they're going to take us down here today. Chef, what do you think? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. It's Monday morning. I was in the garden at 6 a.m. this morning, watering and picking all those goodies.
Well, I guess the question is, should I be calling the Las Vegas bet line and bet on us or bet on our guest?
Oh, they look pretty damn smart. With some reason, we never hire anybody nobody ever comes here that look like they would never win. So I'm going to say it's going to be a very even game today.
It's going to be a tight battle.
It's going to be a tight battle.
I shouldn't wager on.
Well, you should wager on each side, you know.
When you say things like that, it makes me want to wager on our guests, sadly. Our taste of the week. My taste of the week is kind of more of a thought of the week,
Okay.
which is last night. My sister is here with her two boys, and both have worked in the restaurant. One is currently in a food truck in the Oakland area, and the other is heading off to college. But he's worked for us for summers at the restaurants, and he was in charge. The younger one was in charge of the appetizer at last night's supper, and he wanted to do it all on his own. He didn't want any help. And what I loved about it, it was the weirdest appetizer.
How many people?
Yeah,
How many people?
10 of us.
Okay.
So I shouldn't say it was weird. It was his vision, which I thought was interesting for an 18-year-old to actually think about it, buy it, make it, and serve it, and to be proud of it. And then I came home late because I was working at Seatown Shuck and Oyster, so I was there like after it had been sitting for a while. Anyway, the point is he made a rice and cooked salmon, kind of not a spread, but a little bit of a salad that he served with a seaweed crisp. You know those little rectangle seaweed crisps you can buy in the store, and then some fresh avocado on top, and you were supposed to wrap it up and eat it as a quick little bite. And it was perfectly delicious.
Sure.
But my taste of the week is the idea that we can influence these youngsters over their lifetime by including them in meals, by serving and making them eat what's on the table, not just serving them what they want to eat necessarily.
Yeah.
That we can influence these youngsters to kind of grow up and be pretty darn good cooks, whether they are professional or whether they're just doing it at their own home or their own frat or wherever. He was genuinely excited about the whole process and about the food that he made. And he just looked at me when I tasted it. He was so nervous. And, so that's my taste of the week is get out there, especially in the summertime, teach your kids how to cook, take them places, right? Try things. Don't just give them everything that they want. Chicken wings and onion rings.
Yeah. Even though we all are different, some people might not be geared towards liking food. I think most people like food. And as a young age, you just teach them to eat food, to eat different kind of food. So when they grow up and when they want to make something to eat, they don't just order from.
Exactly. He thought it was super healthy because it had salmon in it. And I said, is it farm salmon or wild salmon? Oh, it's only wild salmon. Jackie told me only wild salmon. So I just making them think.
Yeah.
And I think that's our responsibility as adults. And
Absolutely.
it was fun to kind of see that happen last night.
So my taste of the week is every year we go pick blueberry. You talk about blueberry. We go pick blueberry at a farm called Wood Creek Blueberry Farm in Monroe. This year we just met them and they picked the first pint and they gave it to us. The first pint of the year. He said we're going to open in 2 weeks from now. He gave me blueberries and I've never tasted so sour in my life. They were so lemony because Kathy made a little jam with it. We put in a little vanilla sugar. Made a little jam with it. It was the next morning after the jam, when the jam was down and it was hot, it was so tart, so lemony, and she didn't put any lemon in it. The next morning we woke up, it was like a jello, like it was super, like pectin all over the place, and it was not lemony anymore. It was delicious. So don't give up if you get blueberries that are sour. They make great jam, and just be patient till it cools off because it's so much better. That's my discovery of the week. I'd never experienced that before because I always get ripe blueberry.
Mm-hmm.
So that was very interesting.
The only time I've really experienced that at all was with rhubarb, where the tartness kind of mellows out a little bit. So,
Absolutely.
All right, when we come back, let's continue that blueberry conversation. It is peak of the season time, although it sounds like maybe it's a week away for some places, but we've been picking ours at our house for 10 days now. So, or I should say the birds have been picking ours.
No, you're on Eastern Washington, that's why.
No, the ones in Seattle.
Really?
You're listening to us on Cairo Radio. It's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
How do you have blueberry for a week already? Is it like full
2
sun?
weeks. Yeah, full sun. Full western
Yeah,
sun.
my bigger varieties are ripe and ready.
Oh, wow.
I've got a smaller variety that's not.
And Connie Crawford over at our neighbor.
Is she ready?
She's ready just now, though. But it's going to be 110 for 5 straight days over there, which is going to drop all the flowers.
110?
Yeah.
Oof.
The plants are just going to go into shutdown mode.
Our irrigation pump has been out, so we haven't had irrigation. And so hopefully today we will get that back.
Oh my
Sharon
God! If you
must
don't
be
have
going
irrigation,
crazy.
Jackie's going crazy.
if
Yeah.
you don't have irrigation during that
Oh,
time,
it'll be dust.
yeah.
Okay, you ready, set?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, it's time for a peek of the season blueberries here in the Hot Stove Society kitchen on Cairo. My name is Tom Douglas.
Yeah.
Thank you, and I'm Terry Roll, the chef in the hat.
Our audience motivator is falling down on the job. Thank you so much, Chef.
Well, when I'm not here, you guys don't applaud. I can't believe this. This is worth applauding for.
That's why we need you so desperately.
A million things to do with blueberries, right? Pamela,
Oh,
have
yeah.
you've been harvesting ones at your house? Have you harvested enough to do anything with, or are they more like pick a snack?
The ones at home are a snack.
Pick a snack, yeah.
If I'm going to make anything, I'm buying them.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite go-to when you buy?
Well, I put a recipe down here that we made recently. We hosted the Blueberry Commission, and they wanted a whole course meal, sweet and savory. So I found a meatball recipe with blueberries in it. The binder is sweet potato, pork, kale, blueberry, and a lot of herbs. It used fresh sage and fresh oregano. And it is spectacular. The sweetness from the sweet potato holding everything together. The blueberries didn't come off as fruity. They were more like the moisture giver in the recipe. And
So it was fresh berries, what not
fresh.
dried. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the dried might come off better.
Yeah,
In a
I think-
situation
I
like
think-
that.
I
Because
think-
they're more intense.
Yeah, I agree with that, Tom. I think the dry, by the way, drying blueberry, if you have a dryer, don't be in a hurry. It takes a long time to dry blueberry. I've done it a few
Because they have
times.
a tough skin
Oh
on them,
man,
yeah.
I don't know why they take forever to dry.
Tough skin. I think Tom nailed it.
Yeah. So anyway, when they're dry, they have a more potent flavor for some reason because it's concentrated, and that's why you add it to rice. You add it to many different things. But I also make a rice pudding with fresh blueberry that comes out pretty darn good. I think blueberries are delicious. They're beautiful raw. I think on cereal in the morning, it's super simple but very nice. Almond milk, toasted almond, and blueberry on top of cereal. Delicious.
Yep.
I mean,
John George von Richten has a restaurant in New York City called the Spice Market, and probably my favorite rice pudding ever. And I love rice pudding, but
Me too.
I love kind of trashy rice pudding. Like
Yeah.
I'll buy the little cups at the store every once in a while, once a year or something. But I have an affinity for trashy little things like that.
Cool.
But he did his with like an elegant ginger cream, and then he stirred in whipped cream, like you might stir in egg whites to kind of lighten it up. And then he put little gem fruits that he had marinated in a star anise syrup. So little bits of blueberry, little bits of diced small. So it's like this big pile of gems on top of this gorgeous rice pudding, and delicious.
Ooh la la.
Ooh la la.
yeah, this time of year also you can make a nice little parfait of yogurt, just fresh yogurts, blueberries. Put that in the fridge. That makes a great 5 o'clock. Kind of like I'm hungry, but I'm not ready for dinner. So nice little intermezzo.
Here's a little snobby thing from me, which I know you're not used to at all, but my nephew, I just told you my nephews are in town, and one of them works in a food truck. Guess what the food truck is famous for? What people line up 30 deep for?
Hot dog.
No. Hamburger, a cheeseburger with bacon and blueberry jam on the cheeseburger.
Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
And I said
I
to him,
sort of get that.
what do you get about that,
Well, I
Pamela? I'm
think-
so disappointed right now.
The blue cheese is what is attracting me to the concept. So it's got to be
I
the
cannot
interplay. of the-
stand blue cheese on my burger. You could not make me eat that. That's funny. I
I
love
just-
a good Stilton.
He says people line up 30 deep for it. And
I believe it because
yeah.
I know people. It's a yes or no kind of thing. The blue cheese thing is a yes or no.
No, this is blue cheese with blueberries and beef and a beef patty and
Oh, I thought you said blue cheese.
no, blueberry jam on
Oh.
blue cheese on the beef burger.
No,
Yeah.
jam. No.
Yeah.
I don't like sweet on top of my
Well,
burger.
whatever. People put ketchup on burger all the
Ketchup
time, and
is
it's 50%
sweet.
sugar.
You know what? Good for them.
Anyway, blueberries. Anything else savory wise? I mean, I know you
Well, the
love to do
corn-
duck or the corn
Every
salad.
year I have to make a homage to Tom Douglas and stole that from you 25 years ago. And
It's in my cookbook, dude.
it is?
Yeah.
But you know, it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth being in the cookbook.
Tell us.
It's raw corn kernel, blueberry, and anise hyssop, talking about herbs. Anise hyssop, julienne, tarragon a little bit, fresh chopped shallots, rice vinegar, olive oil, salt, pepper. I, of course, embellished it a little bit more
Mhm.
than you did it the first time, but
That's what you do, chef.
that's what I do.
Yeah.
And it comes out as a prize winner every single time.
And what
I
part
have
of that
never-
surprise is that your guests are saying like they're a little dumbfounded, corn and blueberry salad.
Right.
Yeah. So that's part of the you make it unexpected. that
Correct.
they're
And
gonna like
also
it.
the
Yeah.
fact that it's raw, they don't have to do anything. You have to do is clean the corn,
Mhm.
put the blueberry in there, chop the shallots, put it in there, fresh herb, you're done.
I would bet the recipe that I have in my book is cooked.
Really?
I mean, I did that 28 years ago, so
Yeah,
I'm
you would
not.
have
I don't
cooked it.
remember. I think I might have cooked.
It's cooked.
Yeah.
I've
Just
made it
either a quick
bunch of
blanch
times.
Mine
or
is
off the
raw.
charcoal
you
grill.
go to the farmer's market and you pick those ears of corn that are like perfect, like tender.
Hmm.
You know, you remove the topping and then you just touch the corn and see how the kernels are. And if they are nicely, like they give.
And are you saying that you put it back if you don't like it after you touched it?
Of course.
Oh.
Is there something wrong with that?
You ever heard of like worldwide pandemic?
No, what is that? Just kidding. When I go to the market, I have clean hands.
You squeezed somebody else's corn?
No, I squeeze the farmer's corn.
Whoa.
All right, let's move on to blueberry.
All right, so let's do.
Pickled blueberry.
Go ahead.
Another one that's
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Very easy to do. Actually, it's 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Yes,
I'm
3
sorry.
water, 2 sugar, 1 rice vinegar. Those are the proportions.
Oh.
And then you bring it to a boil for about 2 minutes, cool it off, and just as it becomes room temp, put in your blueberry in there.
Mhm.
Put a little weight on top because the blueberry want to float, they want to bob on top. So you put a little weight, very light weight. Usually you can do paper towel. If you do paper towel double layer, it will sink them enough. And you just dip them overnight, and then you have pickled blueberry.
So I don't. 3 water seems like a lot to me because I often will just do straight vinegar, like a rice vinegar, especially.
You know
The
what?
acidity level doesn't seem as much.
This
but
is a safe recipe of like using the KISS rule, meaning the keep it simple, stupid kind of idea,
mhm,
where you can use that for anything. Now it's up to you to spice it up.
right.
To
Coriander
you can
seed.
put cinnamon. I mean, star anise.
Mhm.
You can put all kind of different herbs in there, spices. You could put turmeric. You could put all kind of different things. I've done millions of different, but the base is 3, 2, 1. So then you can start with something. Then you
So
can
somebody
add-
at home listening to us, whether you're pickling strawberries or
Start with-
rhubarb or blueberries,
start
or,
with that.
yeah,
And then
cucumbers.
if you go, oh, that was a little bit weak on the vinegar. I like it more vinegar. Reduce the water.
Mhm.
You don't have to augment the vinegar. Just reduce the water. You don't have to do 3. You can do 2, 2, and
Yeah.
1. But or you reduce the sugar. You just pick your own battle. But the most important part, for example, we have lemon verbena here. It's a very cool thing to do is to put your lemon verbena branches into your vinegar, into your syrup, basically, and then cook that for just 1 minute. Put that in there, and then remove it, strain it, cool it off, and now you have a lemon infused
Vinegar.
vinegar.
Sounds delicious, chef.
Yeah.
Okay, one of our faves here is coming up. Amy Weems, founder of Hot Dame Hot Sauces. And we're going to talk a little bit about Seattle Metropolitan Magazine article with all the different locally made condiments, which is Amy's is one of those. On Cairo Radio, it's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
Welcome, Amy.
How many people are watching, Sean?
We've only got a few.
The seat of honor.
Oh, I forgot to say what you can do. You can do millions of things, but it's good. Like if you're making a similarity to a Greek salad, cucumber, feta, You can do onions, tomato, and then you put in the blueberry in there at the last minute and toss the whole thing together. So when you're eating it, you have little popping of blueberry pickle.
Yeah, like 2 to 3 inches essentially. Just 'cause
It's good to put in savory salad. It's also good as a if you're doing sautéed onions for
So pull it
next
close
to
to
a
you,
roast,
and you
or
pull
you're
up
doing
to
some
it.
ribs or a roast.
So just listen to yourself, right? When you're in like this, you can hear it, and when you're back like this, you can hear it.
I'm gonna have to talk
Right
in here,
there.
aren't
That's
I?
perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Great.
Because it's the radio. that- we're thinking about the radio listeners, not necessarily in here, right?
Sure.
We
Sure.
want the radio listeners that are in there.
All right. All right. All right. All right.
Oh, will you just pour a little bit out on the plate? Tasting there?
Have them all?
Which
You're
one
not
is?
wasting them. They're yours. You're gonna taste whatever you taste. I have 3 hot sauces, and then I do cocktail shrubs as well. So there's 2 spicy shrubs. Cocktail shrubs. Yep. These are my kind of permanent lineup, and then I do
Like
small batch during the local growing season. Habanero. It's the hottest. Yeah.
You know, we did not use any habanero in our rubs until we teamed up with Crepes.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna have to deal with the shrubs. Because those need to go in a glass.
I mean, it's yeah. Sparkling water is the best way to taste them for sure.
We're gonna go from mildest, which is green.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing. I'm like you. I like to be able to taste the flavor of whatever else I'm eating. Yeah, I'm not ever gonna win a hothead contest. That's not my goal. Yeah.
Are you from part of the world? Are you from?
From the United States. I'm from the Midwest. I've been in Seattle for a little over 20 years, but
You know how there's different type of barbecue sauce. There's sweet, there is vinegary.
Yeah.
It feels like the vinegary,
That one's hot, chef.
yeah.
Letting you know.
Habanero's the last one you have. It's habaneros mixed with sweet peppers, and then there's a little allspice and sumac with that one.
Delicious.
a bit hot.
But-
thing with me, if you give me one of these, it will probably last me a lifetime.
Right.
Because I'm doing one little bit at a time.
Yeah.
But what I like to do with that is to put it like in a dressing or something, like mix it with something else,
Yeah.
mayonnaise or something.
Yep.
Just kick it. But by
Have it-
itself.
Have it highlight some, or be part of something else. I hear
But
you.
they are very tasty. I really like that.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
good
you.
taste.
I appreciate that.
What stores are committed to putting them in the refrigerator?
Committed is maybe a strong word at this point. Leshai Market has been a huge supporter. The 2 La Pasta locations are also. I mostly sell at farmers markets. Customer direct is kind of how I
Yeah.
how I
Plus you
function
make
best.
Make your margin there too. So.
Yeah, a little bit easier that way. La Pasta, and then there's a produce delivery company that carries my stuff, Pacific Coast Harvest.
We would have it down at Seatown, for example, but we just can't leave it out. It's a refrigerated sauce.
Refrigerated
Leave it
products,
out,
yeah.
like you can Tabasco or
Right.
any of the others.
So why is it? Because you have no preservative in it.
No preservatives, and it's a short fermentation period. It's
Okay.
not like a 3 seasons Tabasco length
Right.
fermentation
Like there is
period.
plenty of life in it.
Right. Right. And it's not canned either.
Yeah. That's the biggest issue.
And then there's 2 cocktail shrubs. So that looks like the first one you have here is the jalapeno blackberry. And then, and that's the newest one of the cocktail shrubs. The second one you're going to have is what I refer to as the original or the classic. and it's got same smoky flavor as that flagship red hot sauce.
So which one is your flagship sauce?
Now, when you get a spicy
middle
shrub
one there.
like that, how do people drink it as a cocktail? Because it seems a little spicy to add, say, like I'm having a piece of salmon.
Yeah.
So
You know,
what is the?
People do a wide variety of things with it.
Okay, stop. I'm going to ask that question.
Yeah.
That's a good question to ask.
Chili pepper cocktail shrub. Yep, that's my original. Into his cider. Yeah. Yeah. John Paulson loves the cocktail shrubs. I bless his heart. Yeah.
Thank you.
As we were hanging out, he was like, I downed this bottle. I will need another one, please. Got it. And definitely I have people who buy it just to drink it. You know,
So
they'll take a
Pam, what
little
did
shot
you
in
add
the
to
morning.
it? What did you add to it? Did you add something?
Soda water.
Oh, soda water.
Okay, we have about 11 minutes. You've seen them come out and say, now we're down to 2 minutes. Now we're down to 1 minute.
Okay.
So if you have
Got
a
you,
thought,
got you.
just wrap it up at that point.
Okay.
Or if we haven't got to your website or all that kind of, what farmer's market you're going to be at.
Already playing. I'm putting some lemon verbena in it.
Oh, nice. In the the blackberry
your
one or
flagship.
yep. That's nice.
Smell that. That smells like. This is this.
Great. That's great.
Okay, you ready, set?
John? It's not good. It's not good to eat just raw because it's very strong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready, Chefy?
Chefing ready.
All right, here we go. We're back in the kitchen. It's the Hot Stove Society Show on Cairo
Oh, it's
Radio.
hot.
Thank you for joining us here today. We're here for 2 full hours, Saturdays and Sundays. We're glad that you dropped in. Amy Weems is here from, she is a teammate of ours over at the theater group that we work with, the Paramount and the More. And Amy, you have been working on your hot sauces for quite a while now, it seems like. You've
Yeah, this is
developed
my-
a mighty loyal following within the company of all your workmates. So
Great. Yes,
Great.
I love to hear that. I love to hear
Yeah,
that. Thank
well,
you.
JP
Yeah.
especially. Tell us about how you got started and then this cool notice that you just got in the Seattle Met magazine and
Yeah.
tell us your story.
So as you know, I've been in the restaurant and bar business for a very long time. And I had a restaurant for a while, for about 4 years. We did, like you two, we did a lot of things from scratch. We had a lot of, in the bar, we had a lot of cocktail shrubs, house-made syrups and liqueurs and bitters and that sort of thing. And I also got into the habit of making hot sauces and putting them out on the tables for people just to kind of try with their food. So that was how I finalized the process that I use here. Restaurant closed a little over 7 years ago, and hot sauce was the thing that I just kept doing for people, kept making for myself, and would make for friends and family and that sort of thing too. So about 4 years ago, I felt like it was time for me to go back into business for myself again, and hot sauce and a cocktail shrub seemed like a real natural progression.
Mm-hmm. And they're called Hot Dame, DAME, and you sell them at farmers markets now.
Yes, I do. I mostly sell at farmers markets. This is my 4th season, given a couple of setbacks in recent seasons.
I wonder what that could be.
What
Yeah,
would have been
yeah.
maybe
Do we have to guess? I
One
can't think of anything.
maybe more obvious, and then I had I was out of a production facility for most of last season too, so that kind of changed things. But I try to spread myself out. I'm still a one-person business. I try to spread myself out to as many markets, touching a wide area geographically as well.
Cool. So let's get into the sauces, Chef. If you have a question about them, there's 3 sauces that we're tasting today. The green, which is
It's a mix of jalapenos, serranos, poblano peppers, and then kind of the flavor profile there is enhanced with a little celery seed and cumin.
I love your spicing on them. I think that's really sweet.
Spicy.
I love your spicing, your herb, that they're not just straight pepper sauce.
Awesome. Thank
yeah.
you. Yeah. I
and
appreciate that.
also the fact that they're balanced, like they're not inedible in terms of so hot that you can touch it.
Right.
So
Right.
there is a very beautiful presence of the heat, but there's also the presence of something tasty behind it. So that's good.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sounds like
Appreciate
it's
that.
made by a chef or something.
Okay, so then the next one is kind of the medium red,
hmm
which is
The flagship sauce, definitely the first recipe developed. It's kind of more my palette, I guess. It's a mix of serranos and jalapenos as well at the base, and then there's some dried and smoked guajillos with that one for kind of a smoky flavor.
I love those dried
Yeah.
Mexican chilies. You can do so much with them because when you rehydrate them, they just turn into a paste and they become so delicious. And Sean's setting you up with some good video here. So,
Great.
and then you have the hot one, the habanero.
Yep, and then the newest one to the permanent lineup is a habanero-based sauce. It's habaneros mixed with sweet peppers, and then you've got a little sumac and allspice with that one.
Is it smoked? It tastes a little bit smoked, no?
It's not smoked.
Or maybe
Nope.
the sumac.
maybe the sumac.
Give it that
yeah.
little.
That would be my guess. A little bit more of that kind of earthiness.
Yeah.
Sumac. People are finally discovering sumac, and it's earthy, delightfulness, a little lemony. It's just a great herb.
It's a great zest at the end of a dish. You know, when you're finishing a chicken or a sauce, you just throw a little bit on top of that chicken and put it in the oven for 3 minutes, and you get this wonderful little zing on top of your skin.
Right.
It's nice.
A little zing with also a little bit of substance to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Then let's jump in front of us, Chef. We have a couple of shrubs. One
Yep.
is a blackberry
Blackberry jalapeno.
jalapeno, and the other is a your
The other one is my classic. It's similar flavor profile as the flagship red hot sauce.
okay. So I asked you this off the air, but I wanted to hear the answer on the air, which
Yeah.
is how do you drink a spicy shrub? Now, do people think about it like as a replacement for a cocktail, or is it just something like if I'm going to have a Diet Coke or I'm going to have this spicy shrub? You know,
Yeah.
it's like
There's people. One of the things I love about this is that it's. I often refer to it as a beverage condiment, although so many great food applications as well. But people do a really wide variety of things with them. I initially started with that classic recipe because I'm a tequila person. I would just drink a shot of reposado
that sounds
tequila
awesome.
with
Yeah.
some of that smoky
chaser?
cocktail shrub. Mix it in together, stir it over
Okay.
ice,
Yeah.
strain it out. But they're great to kind of enhance or play around with some of your cocktails that you're already drinking. But I definitely have a lot of people who use them as a alcohol substitute.
Yeah.
They're drinking them just like you have them here with club soda or in a ginger ale or that sort of thing. A lot of people are, trying to either cut back or just kind of mix things up a little bit, especially summertime. I don't know.
And
That
with
plays
this-
in a little bit, but
With this hot weather, I'm picturing a beautiful glass picture,
yeah.
pitcher, not a picture, pitcher, and then full of, it's not kombucha, but it's similar to that,
Yeah.
with
yeah.
soda, and then a lot of fresh herbs in there, like mint,
Yeah.
and then gives that a
Absolutely.
nice little flavor. Leave it in the sun for, an hour or two, and then put in the ice in it, and bingo, you get a wonderful infused.
Yes. Why haven't I done this? I'm doing that today. That's great.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
perfect. Yes. Thank you.
It's
I'm
like
going to take
making
some of
your
these
own-
herbs home with me.
Especially because it's hot this week.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
Well, that's the first thing you did, Chef, was you took some of the lemon balm that you brought in,
Mhm.
rubbed it between your fingers, and dropped it in the shrub,
Yeah.
and it changes the dynamic. But
course.
that nice spicy base is there.
Yeah, I get that. You want to try it?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
So if you think about it, like maybe you could even think about it like a Bloody Mary, and where you would use that instead of the tomato juice.
Yeah.
Although this time of year, tomato water we're going to start seeing some excess tomatoes with this heat.
It's coming soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
coming
so
soon.
having tomato water is always
But
fun.
anyway, you let that infuse for an hour or two in the sun,
yeah.
just like you would iced tea or anything like that. And then
Yes.
you could even mix that with iced tea if you wanted to, if you had
Sure.
iced tea.
Yeah.
A great combination.
Yeah. I've been making a lemon balm tea with the excess of lemon balm in my yard this year. And that sounds like a really
You could also
good
put,
addition to
there is wonderful strawberry in the garden right now.
that.
Yeah,
a bunch
just
of
about
strawberries
there.
in there.
Yep.
And those
Yep.
would start to get like gently pickled kind of idea.
Mhm.
Mm.
I think
But-
we're coming to the end of those.
But the shrubs are very versatile. I'm always surprised too. Again, I kind of put them together with something for the hot sauces in mind, for something for the kitchen, the shrubs in mind for something for the bar.
Right.
But I'm constantly surprised and impressed with the customers who come back to me and say, "Oh, I put this into my salad dressing," or I,
Poached.
I did.
Poached with it.
I did a wide variety of food things.
And
with this
I
one.
often use the Tabasco, Chipotle Tabasco, as kind of that secret ingredient in my kitchen, which your middle sauce would work perfectly into. As you add it, nobody knows it's there, but it perks it up, and it replaces salt sometimes too when you add these little spicy lifts without being, you know, trying to take over the dish.
Right.
You know.
Right. Yeah, just enhance what's already there.
So what does it take for someone to make that at home? Because, I mean, I've never made hot sauce myself from scratch. I've always bought it from people who knew better.
Yeah.
But
Oh my gosh.
you got to get all those peppers. You got to roast the peppers, or you buy them roasted already.
You know, one of the things I love about hot sauce is that there are so many different ways to make it. Everyone does their own special thing. My sauces are fermented. Not every hot sauce is. My sauces are not canned. A lot of them are. Some people use roasted or in other ways cooked peppers before they start. There's just so many things you can do, just kind of depending on what's available to you or what your flavor preference is, what your style is, that sort of thing. But I start with the raw product, and I do a pretty short fermentation period, and then the ingredients are just blended with vinegar before they're bottled. That's really, I like to keep it just as simple as possible.
simple.
Yeah.
And there's probably a health quality to the probiotic nature of it not being canned.
Right.
Yes, I would imagine so. I'm not, I haven't, I don't have the scientific research to back that up, but I would imagine so as well.
Well, if you want to know more about Amy's hot sauce, Hot Dame, there's a cool article in Seattle Metropolitan Magazine about her sauce, about a bunch of different local condiments that are made here in the Seattle area. And
I think it's a great article. I read the whole thing. It's a beautiful article. It's make you discover some local stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
They covered a lot of products.
Yeah, they covered a
great.
lot. I mean,
They even
these
had a
are-
little spice rub.
They had
conversation
Rose
in
Love.
there.
They had Villa Gerada. They had all those different places where you can buy condiments and spices in the local scene that many people don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're going to take us through it in the next segment.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. On Cairo, when we come back, I think I missed that. On Cairo Radio, when we come back, let's talk about this Seattle Met article. Amy Weems, thank you so much. Get out there to your farmer's market and look for Hot Dame hot sauces and Shrubs, and have fun. Have
Thank
fun
you
this
so much
summer.
for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely. It's
Appreciate
pepper
it.
season.
Yeah.
The fresh ones are coming on
That's
on
right.
Cairo.
Yep.
And they're going to finally be ripe after this week.
That's right. 97.3 FM.
Thank you.
This is how two people look like 100 people.
No, you can. So you're in this next.
Oh,
You're in this next segment. Okay. I missed that, Pam. I'm sorry. I read that as one. Yeah.
Do you say that again?
Yeah. And sugar. Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's not that I'm not on the hot. I love harissa. I love many things, but not too hot.
Yeah.
Like this would last me a long time.
But not if you just put a dab in your salad dressing or this or there. You
course.
you go right through it.
But
Yeah.
still,
Touch on your eggs in the morning.
no, I would use that on my. Well, actually, that would be delicious too.
I warned you, he was a spice weenie.
No,
But a flavor enthusiast, and that's really, I think, the important part. Flavor enthusiast. Are we getting a name tag made?
Yeah, exactly.
hashtag at flavor enthusiast. You're welcome. Eat them all because they're not gonna last.
I wouldn't know. I haven't had one yet. Somebody grabbed them out of my hand and just
I give them
whisked
to you.
them away.
Guess
Thank you,
first.
Amy.
Amy's more gracious.
Some of them are fairly ripe, some of them are overripe. It's very hard to control those. Oof. One day they're gone.
Do you have a
Fragile.
big
I have a
patch
few
growing?
plants in pots
Oh,
in my backyard,
great.
in my back
Yeah.
back patio.
They're contained.
Yeah, they're contained. Yeah. Oh, they will take over the world. As a matter of fact, every year some of the little seeds go into my patios. It's a brick patio, and you have little strawberry plant growing in
How
between the
pretty.
bricks. Yeah.
Yeah.
But strawberry will take over. It's an
Yeah.
invasive plant for sure.
Delicious invasive plant.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you. This season I am at. I split my Saturdays between Edmonds, Paulsbo, and Des Moines.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Holy mackerel.
And then I'm also doing Kirkland and Mercer.
You're all
That's
over
a
the
good
Puget
idea to
Sound.
get out a little bit
Yeah.
because the competition downtown is so intense.
Yeah, it's intense. Yeah, I have.
That's a
come
lot
to-
of driving.
It's a lot of driving. It's true. I don't know that it will be like that forever, but I do. I have also come to realize that I need to be happy at a market, and a market where
Yeah.
just spatially everyone's crammed in, or the vendors are so close to each other, or there's a lot of factors that just make my time at the market pleasant or unpleasant. And
Is there anybody doing hot sauce at the Madrona market?
that's a good question. I peeped in there
Friday
once at the
afternoon.
very beginning of this season, and I haven't been back because I feel like
It's Friday
there's
af-
some fluctuation
Yeah,
within
Friday
the
afternoon, I
season.
think it's 3 to 6.
Yeah, one of the happy hour markets, I like to call them.
Yeah.
That'd be
That's a
good,
good one.
to get on the air too, Tom. Amy's version of the markets and how you sell hot sauce.
Amy's version or vision of.
Both. Yeah. I mean, I think.
Why don't you ask that question because you have it in your mind
All right.
what you want to know.
Will do. I've been meaning to get up to Edmonds. I hear that market is fabulous.
There's a lot going on up there in that market. It's some of the markets too, outside of the Seattle Neighborhood Farmers Market Group have broader. They attract more crafters than some of the more food focused Seattle area ones, which is neither here nor there, but just a thing to know.
So how many bottles of hot sauce do you have to sell to be able to pay for a ferry and your
Exactly.
your
Oh my gosh,
stands
I
and
cannot-
your time and your gas and
Yeah.
I mean I can't imagine.
Yeah.
I
Paulsbo
mean I
is
can
a
imagine,
challenge.
but yeah.
That's
Paulsbo
the
is a challenge,
question.
and there are some days where again, it's the difference of what I like about the market. I enjoy my time at the Paulsbo market.
So it's
I
not about making
enjoy-
money so much.
It's not about making money. So when I do make money, it's a
Yay!
really, really good incentive, really good bonus. And I always the Paulsbo farmers market crowd are very loyal customers. It's actually one of my better markets.
So are you is there just a waiting line to get into U District or Ballard or something like that where it's more intense?
There is, and there are. Every market sets their own guidelines too. Some people only want one hot sauce vendor. Some people only want one spicy vendor. So if there's someone selling salsa, who's been there for who's been essentially grandfathered in or tenured in, that's not the right place for me. And some markets just want to attract as many vendors as they can. It really varies. Yeah.
All right, we're back here in the hot stove kitchen. Why not? Why shouldn't we? It's
Very happy.
It's gardening time. Hopefully you got your headphones on. You're in the garden, kind of just picking and weeding and enjoying this heat that we're having and all the good things that happen when you go into your yard. Like when I went over to your house to drop off that shelf weeks ago, you were out there you were dirty. You were dirty. You were out there.
Yesterday, I was covered in mud.
Yeah, you were dirty, and I've never seen her happier than when she's full of dirt. Just like Jackie, my
There's
wife.
something very pleasant about that. Your
Yeah.
back is aching, your feet are dirty, your hands are black, there's something satisfying about that.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
shower is always welcome after that, and just feels so.
You know what I find super satisfying about that is when Jackie walks in with a freshly picked and washed tote of gorgeous produce from our farm, and I just cook it. I don't have to do the dirty part. That's my idea of fun.
You get the easy job.
Yeah, exactly. Pamela, you picked out this article from Seattle Met of all these local condiments. Amy Weems is staying here from Hot Dame Sauces. Tell us what you're thinking about it.
Well, in addition to being a big fan of your product, what I'm also interested in, coming from the food product side myself, and trying to figure out distribution and profitability, is how the heck are you turning this into a company that makes it worth doing? During the break, we were talking about farmers markets a little bit. Is that your plan going forward?
Well, I'm just going to remind everybody that I am still part of the Tom Douglas family.
Yes, we're
so you actually have a job.
I have a job.
Is what you were trying to tell.
I have a job. Hot Dame is a thing. Hot sauce is a thing that I'm very passionate about. It's a thing that I really enjoy doing. And it's a thing that I definitely established as a side business. And have really recently come to realize that I enjoy it as a side business. So at this point, I was at a point in the business right before the pandemic where things were starting to tip the other direction, and I was feeling like I wanted to put myself more fully occupationally into the hot sauce business. And I just, I had a restaurant for a period of time, and having to rely on hot sauce to pay all of my personal bills sucks some of the joy out of it.
Okay.
So I definitely wanted to keep it a thing that I genuinely want to do.
So it's a beautiful blend.
It's a beautiful blend for me.
Yeah.
And I'll remind people, Pamela, you said that you coming from that side of the business. Pamela was instrumental in starting Red Hook Brewery and
Right.
Theo Chocolate. Just a little bit different scale, maybe, than farmers market.
She didn't go to farmers market.
No.
right.
She went to what's called distributor.
Right. Nationwide, regional.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Well, Pam, there's several items in here that we are very fond of. I'll start right off with
Yes, please.
kari kari, spicy Szechuan
Yes.
chili crisp. And I will say I had it again the other night, and I was kind enough to myself to put 2 tablespoons on the dish that I was, because it's not super spicy. Those chili crisp. But what really got me about that particular one was the Szechuan peppercorn buzz in my mouth. You know, that natural, what do you call that? When it,
The aftermath.
creates like a little numbness on your palate.
And also the garlic is pronounced. It's very pronounced. So if you have to make sure you remember that, because the dish, if it doesn't go with garlic, it's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
But it's a great condiment. I mean, I put it in a watermelon salad the other day. That was like, that was the kick of the salad.
Yes.
That was really cool.
There's several different hot sauce companies out there working right alongside Amy. Papa Tony's hot sauce. One of my favorite local hot sauces is the Bonache.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's Bonache or Bonache, but apparently it's something. Bonache. It's something his baby cooed, and then he just latched onto it. But I love their Hatch chili sauce, and I use that just as a shake. It's not particularly spicy, but I just think that's a fun. But I like all of their sauces, like I like all of Amy's sauces. There's another one featured in there that from the Puyallup Fair, Barbecue Pete's. You ever go to the Puyallup Fair, and they have that huge kind of
I saw it the other day.
cement long pit that they do their butterfly chickens on and this and that.
There's a lot of great products out there.
Yeah.
It's
Do you
almost
have a
overwhelming.
favorite to tell us about?
No.
You're being polite.
Yeah, Hot Dame.
No.
She's got a
Hot
favorite, all right.
No, unfortunately it's one of those places where there are so many products where and it's not a thing that I go to regularly enough. I will bring a thing home with me. I'll use it until it's gone, and hopefully I'll remember to go back and get it. There was a spice person, a rub person that I came across there last time I was there, which was too long ago now at this point. We're going back. We're all going back. Field trip.
Exactly.
Going back.
Pickles are so hot, and I'm surprised that there's enough money in it to keep some of these businesses going. Like just in this little article, there's Seattle Pickle Company, Brits Fermented Foods that does pickles. There's
They expanded from just their pickles, and now they're fermenting other vegetables. It's cool.
yeah, Firefly Kitchens. It's
I
doing
love
stuff.
Firefly Kitchen. Do you ever buy the yin yang carrots?
I don't.
Oh no.
They're so tangy,
Sauerkraut.
and their sauerkraut's
sauerkraut's great.
fantastic.
There's Mom Noon Fine Foods.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys have really kind of branched out. I kind of find that company similar in nature to ours, where they're diversifying enough with their product line. They have street food, they have sit-down restaurants, they now have a product line. They're opening.
If you haven't had their hummus, I put a 5-star on that one. It's a delicious hummus.
Because their tahini's so good.
Oh, good.
Well, do they make their own tahini?
They bottle it. I don't know if they make it.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Yeah. There's that company that we've had on our show here.
Villa Gerada.
Yeah, tell us about them.
Maybe-
Because that's a local condiment company, but the ingredients are from.
Doing everything from Morocco.
Yeah.
And Mehdi has been doing Villa Gerada for, I don't know, maybe 10 years now. And he's bringing olive oil, plenty of beautiful olives, and his hummus is also delicious. But Pam is in love. You're in love with the
He's very handsome.
but you're in love with his tahini.
Tahini.
Yeah.
I
His
think it's the
tahini
best
is
on the market.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Smooth like you wouldn't believe. Anyway, he has confit lemon. He has all kind of different. He has a whole range. Harissa, many.
I
So-
have a little bit of a passion for jardinera,
Oh yeah.
and I love it on a sandwich, just like in the Central Grocery down in New Orleans. But there's one here that I have not tried. It's called Hero, the Mighty Condiment, and they have a featured jardinera in this particular Seattle Met article on tomatoes, sliced tomatoes, fresh mozzarella, and then jardinera right on top.
That's
So it's a
a
vegetarian
great
sandwich.
idea.
A key to it would be, and you can see it in the picture in the article, is a really hard toasted bun.
Yeah.
Right? Because that adds a whole level of flavor before you ever put
You
anything
need
on
that,
top
yeah.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah, we do kind of one of those at the airport. I do a Mediterranean salad in a sandwich,
Uh-huh.
and of course it can be one or the other, right? If you don't do it right, it can be very soggy and not
Yeah.
so good.
It needs to be done right away.
Yeah, so it's toasted is definitely part of it.
Do you have Jim Cross's recipe for
For
his
antipasto,
antipasto?
I have a
jardinera?
jar in my 10-year-old, 12-year-old jar in my pantry.
Should we still eat that?
Jackie just wants me to save it.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we should not eat that.
You didn't get the recipe though?
No, we have the recipe.
Okay.
We should
because you
not
need
eat that for sure.
That would be fun to do in a little antipasto. There's some in the marketplace.
some good, yeah.
Yeah. And that one has tuna in it and vegetables and olives and
Mm.
like a lot of those old things, we don't have time to get into it so much, but a lot of those old time recipes are very much like, okay, put a can of tomatoes in, put a can of green olives in, put a
can of cauliflower.
a can of tuna.
Yeah.
That's just the way it was in many old time recipes. If you look at the recipe boxes that I have, it's like, yep, that's exactly it. We got to talk about that sometime. The Toll House cookie recipe. When we are thinking about that. When we come back, we've got another full hour right here at the Hot Stove Society Show. We're coming to you from the Hotel Andra in downtown Seattle. And we have a couple of guests here today that are starting to get excited about taking us on in trivia. Cabaret Radio 97.3 FM.
Okay.
Thank you,
Amy,
Yeah.
thank you. That was
Thank
fun.
Thank you
you.
for having me. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for
everybody.
staying on.
This is great. Good. Thank you. Good. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of great roasting things that people do with those cocktail shrubs. There's a lot of fruit things. You were talking about the watermelon salad. That's one of my favorite things.
Watermelon salad. So put it in your,
Just toss in fresh watermelon.
okay, I have one.
Grilled pineapple. One of the things that I always talk about is this.
Can't say always anymore because you didn't talk about it on the radio.
Wait, what? Grilling pineapple?
Yeah, that'd be delicious.
There you go, Amy.
Or copper fennel.
rub that in your hand and put that in your shrub. And that stuff grows like madness.
Early too.
Yeah.
That's one of the
Very
first
early.
ones up in the spring.
I mean, the thing I have is this tall. The cool thing is you get all the pollen at the end. Right now they're on bloom. And I wait till the end of the season and you just shake the thing and you get all the pollen. And then you can have the fresh pollen. And then you wait a little bit longer and then you get all the seeds, the dry seeds. And then you put it to dry and then you get all the dry seed in the winter. I get every year I get this much dry fennel seed.
Wow.
What a farmer.
And then you're using it.
It's not a problem. It's just I got a giant, big brown fennel thing. So you just cut it and then you put it on the big
It's
cardboard.
considered, I believe, a noxious weed, like arugula is. Yeah.
When you go in Provence, it's fennel. Green fennel is everywhere.
Yeah.
See a little bit of browns, but mostly green fennel. That and lavender.
You're done. Stay as long as you like.
Thank you so much.
So
You've done it.
So
You've done it.
karaoke is good. Karaoke is good.
Me neither.
I'm the audience. I'm the
We appreciate you coming in this morning.
I know. Thank
Oh,
you.
yay.
All right.
Can't
it's a
wait
deal.
to be walking around with a bag that says hot dame. Ou in français, hot dame.
Do you post it? Where do you post which market you're going to? Okay. Okay. Goodbye.
You should have broke up with
Instagram.
Facebook. They go in bed together anyway, so it doesn't matter. They're all the same. We'd like to get your information.
Enjoy the day. Right there is good. See you later.
Bye.
You guys hanging in there okay? Okay. Have you had the kari kari yet?
Call Jackie Cross. So a company showed up today at our house. I hired them. Outside man.
They're casing your house.
Hey, what was that all about?
It is the guy that we hired. And I think didn't we used to have the eco something service
Eco Shield.
Oh, for the varmints.
for the varmints? Yeah.
Oh, and
Yeah. So it became a new company. And so it was this guy, and he said he was out in February, and he was just out here to rebait the traps, and he sprays for ants and bugs and knobs and all this. And off he goes.
all right. There you go. All right. Okay. Bye.
We'll come down there around 11. So you have a ride? Maybe have lunch at 5?
Okay.
Does that sound cool?
Yep.
Okay.
Bye.
See you then.
It just came to my house
What, Purdue?
last week. No, Eco Shield. I need to come back because it didn't do the job enough. They were putting, I had rats.
Uh-huh.
So they were putting some, what they call, I forget what they call it. Basically, it's on the whole side of the house. It's intrusion, intrusion thing they put it. So it's something they put like almost like steel pad
Uh-huh.
inside the siding, because the siding doesn't touch the ground on the old house. On the new part of the house, obviously made on the
Uh-huh.
so it's cool. But they only did one side, they didn't do the other half. Move those damn thing out of my way.
And we're back. It's A delicious day here in the Hot Stove Society kitchen.
We're
We have
having
been
a great
tasting
time.
hot sauces. We've been tasting shrubs. Pamela is now getting out the kari kari hot sauce. I'm not sure why. What's going on with that? But we're gonna talk about herbs now.
Yep,
You have a prolific herb garden.
I do. I for many years that was my resource for most of my herbs were coming from my yard in the summertime for sure. So we have
For your restaurants.
for the restaurant, yeah.
Because herbs are expensive. I mean, they're
Yeah.
$20 a pound when you buy rosemary or thyme or things like that. They can be
Yeah, but
very expensive.
more importantly, the fragile one you don't find. It's not easy to buy. You know, there's many herbs you can't really find very nicely on the market.
Mhm.
Even chives, when you buy chives, often they're not that great. You know, you pick chives from your garden in the morning and you roll them up in a wet paper towel.
Wait
And,
till I tell Charlie what you said.
oh, he's heard me say it.
And it's true.
I mean, herbs are hard to buy fresh, especially fresh herb. Rosemary, bay leaf, thyme, those are sturdy, oily, very sturdy herbs. So they stay well. So you can buy them in the market. So is sage. But once you get into chives, once you get into lemon verbena, you get into Thai basil, it gets very tricky to buy it,
Mhm.
you know, because it doesn't last. So anyway, I used to do, there was a time at Rovers where I had the garden in the back of it, and that was, you know, 420 every day, full sheet pan. The pantry guy would go out into the backyard and he would cut so many of each of the herbs, and then he bring them back, cut, you know, you put them in water, obviously a little water, and then you have them in front of you during service, and you can just, and I was never strict about only put this herb on this. It's like, no, when you're sending the plate, it's what comes up. You know, obviously some herbs match and some herbs don't, but you know, it was always in front of you. And if you run out, you walk 50 feet up in the backyard and you pick some more. It was like same with nasturtiums, same with pansies, same with all the edible flower that we had. We had them in the backyard, so we picked the right amount every day. And we never had any leftovers.
So there's good ways to use all this variety of herbs that you have, and it seems in every culture there's a version of chermoula or salsa verde or it's just the best way I can think of to when you have an excess of herbs to do the combination of all of them together,
Right.
And just to be aware not to overwhelm it with one particular.
Right. The laziest way is to put it, I don't know if you do, but in my freezer, I have a bag, plastic bag, where I put all my leftover bones all the time. And I put all the leftover peeling of carrots or whatever. So eventually when I have enough, I just put everything in a pot and I have a stock. So that's where I put the leftover herbs, if I have some leftover herbs, as a lazy way of doing it.
That is brilliant. I'm stuffing that into my chicken bone bag tonight.
Yeah, in my house, we love, Kathy and I, we love eating on the bones, you know, chicken and everything, but we never throw them away. We always put them in a bag, in the freezer, and then once we have enough, put that in a pot, and we have a beautiful chicken stock.
Yeah, roasted and
Yeah.
delicious, ready to go.
It's already roasted.
So let's go through a couple of the ones that you have here. Pam, you've called out anise hyssop. What's your
Well,
question on that?
Terry's always talking about it,
Yeah.
and it's one that I don't have. But what I was hoping we would get into is beyond the garnish and when they really are elemental in the dish. So the ones that recipes I found was in braising lamb.
Right.
Anise hyssop was a recommended one, or in ratatouille, which sounds
Oh, yeah.
brilliant to add that flavor.
So I would, if you use anise hyssop in cooking, I would try using it at the end,
Yes.
mainly because it's got the anise flavor in it, very light anise. It's kind of a mix between basil, anise, and tarragon.
So isn't it from the mint family? I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is from the mint family, but it doesn't have a strong mint flavor. It's more light anise, almost like a réglisse, which I forget how we say that
I
in
don't know
English.
what that is.
Thing you chew on that's black.
Oh, Anise?
Yeah.
Licorice.
Licorice. Thank you.
Licorice, yeah.
I was looking for that word.
Yeah.
Licorice. So it's kind of a light licorice idea. So it goes well with the lamb. excuse me. But you need to make sure then you use it towards the end. That's where you'll have the more potency. If you cook it for a long time, you're not going to find that licorice flavor being as good or as delicate as it is.
I think
It's-
people forget you could take it even in a different direction than the braise. Like right now, people are cooking on their grill outside. But if you take a bundle, I mean, anise hyssop generally grows ferociously.
Ferociously, yeah.
If you take a bundle of that and say put it on the grill and then put your butterfly leg of lamb on top of the anise hyssop and let it burn onto the
Oh,
lamb.
wow.
I mean, it
yes.
becomes ash, right? And that ash is then infused onto the lamb, and it just infuses flavor. There's lots of ways to use it. Like
Or-
in the wintertime, yeah. Go ahead and take the stuff you've put in the freezer or pureed and put it into your braise. And
Or you can also mix it with a little bit of mint and basil and then put that in the blender with a little bit of olive oil and lemon juice. You got a wonderful lachomula we were talking about.
Mhm.
Then you put that on top of your leg of lamb that's been grilled or your duck or whatever,
Mhm.
and then put that at the end. And
so my suggestion is both, right?
Yeah.
Then you get the cooked charred flavor of the anise hyssop,
Yeah.
and then you refresh that with another layer of fresh anise hyssop.
Yeah.
And that's how you create depth in your cooking. People forget that it's not just salt, right? It's not just chili pepper. It is, if you want depth, you have to add those layers.
yeah, lemon verbena is another herb. Then we can talk about that. You do roasted potato, in a cast iron pan. At the end, you put in a bunch of chopped lemon verbena, toss the potato together, put it in a bowl, and then cover it. And then you'll have all this infusion of lemon verbena into your potatoes. That's pretty
I saw a
delicious.
lot of recipes for lemon verbena just because it's so aggressive with its citrusy note. The one that I'm going to try soon is the tomato avocado salad.
Mhm.
But they also had a bread recipe and a beautiful companion to butter, whether in a Beurre Blanc or in a compound butter.
Compound butter is lemon verbena compound butter. I made that many times. It's really delicious. And you're grilling a piece of fish, you put a few pieces of butter on top of it as you put it on the platter or on the plate. It's delicious. It melts and it's got that wonderful zinginess to it. And another thing is you're using lemon or lemon juice. Take all the zest and mix that with your lemon compound butter, your lemon verbena compound butter. So now you have extra lemon flavor in it. So it's another way to use that. And lemon verbena as a syrup, you just take a whole bunch of lemon verbena, put it in sugar, leave it on the counter overnight, let it macerate together. Next day, add a little bit of water to it, put it on the fire for about 2 minutes till it boils. It needs to boil for about 2 minutes. Then strain the whole thing up, and you get this wonderful, strong lemon verbena syrup.
Overnight in the sugar,
Oh, yeah,
no water.
no water.
Okay.
It will start the process of breaking it down, and it will extract the lemon flavor.
Lemon verbena can get tough,
Oh, yeah.
especially at the height of summer.
It's not something
Sometimes
you,
it's something that has to be extracted rather than eaten raw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you can cover, let's say, a leg of lamb. You can cover it with the leaves, like Tom was saying, and cook with it. But it's not something you want to eat whole.
All right. When we come back, it's time to talk about lobster rolls. They are taking over the marketplace. And is it okay?
Of
Yes.
course, it
They're
is.
delicious. I'll tell you how to make one, but is it okay? Are we going to fish out lobster here pretty quick across America on Cairo Radio? This is Tom and Terry in the Seattle Kitchen, Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM. It's funny how it just comes out every once in a while.
When you were here one time, I said, "Welcome to Hot Stove." The Seattle Kitchen Show. I was like, "Wait, that sounds wrong."
Okay. The guests are hanging tight.
One of my favorite antics was Terry invited me to cook at Rover's. Weren't you having like a series of chefs come through? What was that all about?
Forgot.
I forget too, but he invited me to cook, and he was very proud of the fact that he had never served a steak in the history of Rover's. And,
What?
And I was also very proud of the fact that I wasn't as prissy a cook as he is. So my entree
I
that
don't know
day,
which way this
You
is
should have seen.
gonna go.
You should have seen the entree that Tom made.
my entree that day is, of course, I brought steak. What do you have? 50 people there or something like that.
Yeah, not even.
And then I took sprig of rosemary and I lit it on fire and put a glass over it to capture the smoke.
Oh,
This is
fancy.
20 some
Yeah,
years
that was
ago.
pretty hip. But I
And-
was
and
laughing
then
because I was
the
so
waiters
not
had
pumped.
to, when they got to the table, the waiters had to lift the glass and let the customer.
That is so not you.
That is so not him.
It was so Rovers.
That was funny. Like, that was so not Tom.
I want you to do that now. So you fire it on the grill, glass
Yeah.
over. Oh man, that sounds dangerous.
You know, we talk about lobster roll.
I think
lobster,
the whole dining room was like.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Choking on rosemary.
The thing
smoke.
about lobster, you could do that with lobster. That would be really cool with rosemary. To do a quick smoke on the lobster. That would be a twist I would give it.
There you go. Well, you don't make 50 lobster rolls a day.
Oh no, I have actually never made a lobster roll. I've had lobster and brioche. I've had lobster in different way, but I've never made a lobster roll. Here we go. One more thing I haven't had.
There you go.
I think it's in your future.
But I would be the first one to go, yeah, let's go Dungeness crab.
Well, when we say we opened Seatown with the Dungeness crab roll on the menu, and 50% of them came back because they thought they were getting sushi, and we were making a lobster roll with Dungeness crab, like a Maine style lobster roll with Dungeness crab.
That is a good way to lead off the segment.
Yeah. Oh, man. That is so sad. All right, let's do it.
It's out of context. It's like when I named Seatown Snack Bar, people thought they couldn't have dinner there, but on the East Coast, on the boardwalks, there's all these snack bars where you get a burger,
Right.
you get a hot dog, you get whatever. So anyway, we had to change that name.
Confusion between cafe and bistro and brasserie.
Yeah. Welcome back.
We're back in the kitchen, the Hot Stove Society kitchen.
Our audience motivator is back on track. We're going to talk a little bit about a true summer treat, and it's actually becoming a national phenomena, which is the lobster roll. And Terry, I have Seatown down at in the market, and it's very much lobster roll territory. It's fish and chips, clam chowder. We now have just put on maybe 2 or 3 months ago a lobster roll. It quickly moved up the charts. It's right behind fish and chips, then the fish taco, and then the lobster roll is number 3 now. And it's perfectly delicious. I think we use Macrina is making a nice bun
Right?
for us. It's Macrina or Grand Central. I can't remember now. They probably don't like the fact that I can't remember.
No.
But I'm not the buyer of it, so I don't remember. Anyway, it's important. It's a top cut kind of hot dog roll, but it's
Right.
top cut. And then we slather it with butter and toast the bun on the
very
sides,
important.
nice and toasted. And then we take the lobster meat that's already been picked. We're buying meat from Maine or Nova Scotia, wherever it's coming from at the moment. And we poach it in butter, and then we stir it in mayonnaise.
Oh
And-
my.
Wait.
We put a little.
You poach it in butter and then you stir it into mayonnaise?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't be judgmental.
I'm just listening. I just wanted to make sure I heard that
So
right.
we pry open the roll, put in our shredded lettuce, put in the butter poached dressed lobster meat,
Uh-huh.
and then finish it with some chives on top. And it's lemony and delicious. And the thing is, it's $40, a $40 sandwich. And when you put the word lobster on a menu, people have no problem paying $40 for a sandwich. It's not like I'm getting rich off of this sandwich. It's got my highest food cost of
Right.
anything on the menu. It's just that I couldn't bring myself to make it what we should charge, which is $50 for the sandwich, because that's what it costs these days, right? So anyway, it took me back, and we were going to talk a little bit about the lobster roll today, but it took me back to the opening of Seatown 10 years ago when I had a crab roll, and because I've always loved a good Maine lobster roll. I made a
Sure.
Dungeness crab
Of
version
course.
of the same thing, same idea, but they kept getting sent back because in Seattle, when people ordered a crab roll, they thought they were getting like a California roll, like a sushi roll. And so it was, they had no idea what I was sending out to them.
So the first
Was
thing
it
you
my
do,
take on a lobster roll?
first thing you do is under the title is write just like a lobster roll, except local.
Well,
Boom.
I'm just saying that lobster rolls weren't well known at that
No, I
point.
know, I know.
So no, they just didn't get it, but now they do. So I think part of the question is the first thing you kind of recoiled saying those things take a long time to grow.
Yeah.
We've got to get over this or we're going to fish them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it's farm raised and all that stuff, it takes a long time to grow. And I mean, if the whole country starts making lobster roll and this becomes the hardest item on all menus, it's not going to take very long before we go, the lobster tail are not £1.50 anymore. They're only £1 and then 3/4 pound. And something we had with monkfish and
king crab,
king crab and all that stuff. I mean, it's been same story. So we need to make sure we don't forget to diversify on the lobster roll and make other roll. I mean, you could do a gooey duck. I mean, not a gooey duck. Sorry, a razor clam.
No.
A razor clam roll. Yeah,
No, you can't really. I mean, I love you to death, but you can pan fry a razor clam, put it on a roll like a poor boy.
Yeah.
Of something. That's not what a lobster roll is. A lobster roll is.
I guess I don't know
if
what
you
it
want
is
to
exactly.
make it akin to something. It's more like tuna salad. Where you take the poached fish and you mix it with mayonnaise and you make a salad and put it into a sandwich. A lobster roll is poached lobster that you make a salad out of and put it into the toasted butter bun.
No, I see.
So
but crab is definitely a great substitute. I mean,
but crab meat these days.
It's very expensive too.
$55 a pound also. Yeah. So and I mean, we have these issues throughout the ocean and throughout our universe that we are continually trying to buy things that are certified by the Monterey Bay Aquarium. And
so how about a salmon roll? Because we have 60 million head that came back into Bristol Bay. Well, so
we have the best-selling salmon burger in the city, I think, down at Seatown, and it's a wild Bristol Bay sockeye salmon. And so there's lots of ways to go about it. But I wouldn't have occurred to me that you didn't really know what a lobster roll was.
Well, I do know what it
They're
is. I
becoming
just
so popular.
I've never had a lobster roll anywhere. Actually, I should go to Seatown and really try it.
There you go.
I owe it to myself. Next stop.
I got hooked on them. I never had them much either, but I got hooked on them at a restaurant in New York City called Mary's Fish Camp.
Yes.
And remember, there was also the Pearl Oyster Bar, I think.
Yes. They both had lobster rolls.
And they used to be partners, like lovers partners. And then they broke up and they each kept, and I have the book, I think, it's called something Maine Cobbler and Lobster Roll. It's the name of her cookbook. And then the other woman opened up Mary's Fish Camp, and it's full 100%. Have you been there?
Yeah, to both of them.
Full 100% of the time.
But
how
I don't
beautiful
know
is that?
If any of them were ever as good as the ones that you made for my birthday in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, when we were opening the Red Hook Brewery there. We had a lobster roll extravaganza. It was incredible. But I was thinking about them because Shoreline Central Market has them in the live tank right now.
Lobsters.
Yeah. But it was so I was craving one, but I was just too intimidating to buy the live. So the fishmonger was trying to talk me into the frozen tails.
Which would work, raw or fresh? I mean, raw or boiled?
Raw, frozen.
Because if you go online, you can buy really good, already cooked lobster meat in cups like you would buy fresh crab meat.
Right.
But they also sell it in cups, like 1 pound cups.
So how do you buy it for Seatown?
We buy it frozen, poached in 5 pound cryovacs.
Oh.
So it is. I don't know if you've never been in the kitchen at Seatown, but it's the size.
I've been
it's
to the
smaller
kitchen at
than
Seatown.
this little area right here. So
it's amazing how small it is.
Mm-hmm. Well,
then
I'll
again,
just say we did $20,000 worth of business out of that kitchen yesterday, and $20,000 worth of business out of that kitchen on Saturday, and $20,000 worth of that. I mean, it is a.
It reminds me of Cafe Sport. The first time I saw the kitchen, It was. I just couldn't believe what you were doing for brunch out of that kitchen.
Crazy.
It was like a massacre. It was like
brunches,
a massacre. It was like those poor cooks back there. They only one way out or in.
Hey, I was one of those poor cooks back
I know,
there.
but I was like, that was.
Well, people don't realize sometimes they want to build their home kitchen like they want to build these big kitchens.
Right.
But really, the most efficient kitchens are well planned.
The one where you don't move.
And essentially, you're working on a pivot, right? You go from the stove to the sink to the fridge, and you got this little triangle pivot. Those are the most efficient kitchens, and that's the way I set up all of our kitchens, is to be small and efficient in that way.
Right.
And those days at Cafe Sport, which is where Etta's is now or was, we would do, 500 people.
I remember.
And we didn't used to close between lunch and dinner. We would turn over the line and start dinner right at 4:30. There was a mutiny.
Yeah.
They just said, we have to close for an hour, chef. We
Yeah.
have to close for an hour. So. But they didn't realize I was on a profit percentage at the time. The longer we were open, the better I did. So, oh well. That's a lot of years ago. That's 40 years ago almost. Isn't that crazy?
Oh my God. Yes, it is. You're right.
When we come back, Tom and Terry each pick 2 appetizers to upgrade.
Can't wait to see this.
Can't wait to see this.
Escargot? No, just kidding.
Not for me, thank you, chef. On Cairo Radio, it's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
Have you been in Seattle long enough to remember Cafe Sport?
You're not even old enough to remember Cafe Sport. You're 60-something? No way. Both of you? That is crazy.
Good looking
They use
60s. That's nice.
moisturizers, I can tell.
You must use clam.
Skincare.
You must use clam dip.
Lots of olive oil. You say lots of olive oil.
Yeah,
Here we go.
yeah.
Here we go. Cooking away.
It was so fun. The woman we had on last week, her grandma lived in the building where Cafe Sport is, Marketplace North. And
Laura Kleiss's mom,
yeah, her grandma
her grandma.
used to take her to Cafe Sport when she was a little girl.
I didn't believe her. It's like, you're not old enough. I mean,
But
it's
you
been
did.
closed for 35 years.
You remembered her grandma, Mary Clay,
Yeah,
she said.
yeah.
Which was really cool. Full circle. That was pretty charming.
All right, we're going to keep this rolling here. Are you sick and tired of your basic appetizer that you always serve at your house when company comes over, chef? Are you sick and tired of it?
Well, I don't get enough people at my house, so no. And if I was tired of something, I probably would make something else.
Okay, well, that's what we're going to do
Answer
today.
is that's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
And
it's
yes, some people are very much cut into doing the same thing. I do, like
Well,
this
we-
time of year, I do make the same kind of salad, the watermelon salad I keep talking about because I love it. I think it's beautiful, it's fresh, and it's summery, and that's what's available right now. I don't get tired of it. I just think it's a seasonal thing. You know,
Do you
you
think
go,
the friends you invite over get tired of the same salad that you make every year?
why don't I invite them the same
You
people?
won't invite it back?
I would not make them twice the same thing though. I'm not like that.
All right, it's Tom and Terry in the kitchen here at the Hot Stove, and we're going to try and punch up some of your appetizers that maybe you own. One of the things I've learned here at the Hot Stove over the years is that people are not super confident in the kitchen sometimes, but on dishes that they feel like they own, right? Like I know my lasagna inside and out, and I make it every time, and they feel very comfortable with that. But the idea of changing an ingredient or taking a step out, maybe using a different type of pasta, it's
Different meat.
It's really threatening to people and
Yeah.
the things that they own. So, like my mother makes crab dip as an appetizer. That's what she does. When I bring back fresh Dungeness crab instead of the canned crab that she buys at Costco, she doesn't quite know what to do with it. It's just a different crab. It's the same. It's crab dip. It's just the same thing.
I know.
But it doesn't look the same. It doesn't smell the same. So it doesn't twist her, but it does make her just a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, one
So-
thing that comes to mind for me is the hummus craze that has been going on of changing from what hummus was originally, chickpeas, to fava beans, to umamis, to, edamame, not umamis, edamame, many different vegetables have been used to now make
To
hummus.
puree for hummus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool. I think that's very imaginative. It's also, why not? You can use pureed peas instead of using garbanzo beans. I mean,
Yeah, just like people make cauliflower risotto,
Right,
and what
right.
the intention is that the cauliflower is cooked risotto style, right?
Correct.
Or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, and to me, I think it's totally fine. And that's one appetizer that I think that if you're used to buy something out of a jar, like hummus, you can just make your own.
So Pamela, our producer, gave us a list of some things that she would like us to upgrade, as she says. And so
Well, ordinary to extraordinary, because that's what our listeners love about you guys when you
Uh-huh.
put your special touch on it.
and I think at the same time we should keep it simple.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
anyone could spend all day making clam dip. I mean, you could, but we don't need to. So I'm going to start with clam dip because that's you put that in there. And to me, just take fresh clams, and I'm going to assume that we want them out of the shell, and you can puree. I don't want to puree the clams, but you can chop the fresh clams. So you steam them, pick them,
Right.
chop them, and or if you want to get really simple, just take those whole fresh clams and put them in this kari kari chili sauce and use that on a little bit of a fried wonton, and there's your clam dip. And it really hasn't taken a whole lot more than just
No cream, nothing.
nothing. No, you can't. You don't want to, because we're staying Asian, and that just would not be.
Okay.
That would
Okay,
not
yeah.
be part of the mix there.
That's
So
true. You were going.
You
Asian
could mix
style.
in a little chopped tofu or something like that, so you have a little bit more bulk and not just clams. But that is a quick little clam dip that would be. And if I were to do that, I would use the pre-fried tofu that you can buy in the market. Just mince it up, put it with the clams, and then stir in your chili crisp. You'd have a nice little spicy clam dip. Okay, chef, your turn.
Okay, so onion tart, it says on here. So I'm going to do onion tart before it comes out of the oven, a few minutes before it comes out of the oven, fresh cheese grated right on top to have a beautiful crust cheese.
Like
on
a
top.
Gruyere or
Like a Gruyere, yeah. Or an Emmental, one of the two. And then,
Comté.
Comté. And then Mexican sage. Remember I was talking about Mexican sage earlier?
Mhm.
This julienne, very thin, and then sprinkle into that cheese.
And then you cook it any more at that?
Yeah, about 3-4 minutes till the cheese just nice and crisp. So now you have like this onion tart, caramelized onion underneath with the cheese already, and then you cut those slices of tart.
And the tart is on a pâte brisée, or what
Yeah,
is it on?
It's on the pâte brisée. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like an Alsatian tart,
Mhm.
and then you just you could also flambe the damn thing with a
Ooh,
little bit
that's
of
always sexy.
little grappa from Alsace with some cherry grappa.
So
The
Pamela,
flambe is next level.
next level. Pamela, you have on here ordinary to extraordinary for some of these appetizers, and then you deign to put carrots en croûte. Now, who does the carrots en croûte as a go-to appetizer?
I don't think so. I think she meant something else.
I don't know what she meant, but I laughed when I
think she
saw it
was
the
just
first
saying
time.
that. She was just saying that to get out
Well,
of
if
the.
I'm going to spice up carrots en croûte, that classic appetizer.
It was in the food and wine appetizer
Really?
list as most popular, but I thought, Terry, you would take that.
Is that like
And-
pigs in a blanket, but with carrots?
Exactly.
Really?
It's like we would go backwards. So
It's like the
carrots
exactly.
on fruit would be the upgrade, but the origin would be the pigs. in
Yeah,
blanket.
it's crazy. Some
Are you
people
going
are,
to take that one, chef?
no, I think it's ridiculous. I don't want to take that. My carrots, I would do little pieces about 1.5 inches long of carrots, and then I would just cook them gently into a little bit of. We were using kombucha, or what was that? What was that thing we were using
The
earlier?
shrub.
Shrub, a little bit of shrub, and baking and soda. Pardon me, not baking. And then cook the carrots gently like this, and then finish with a big nugget of butter at the end and some toasted sesame seed. And I would toss the whole thing together at the end and have a syrup of around the carrots, and that would be my appetizer.
So I
Oh,
just have
on
one
fruit.
question, chef. Are you buying one of those little tubes of Pillsbury biscuits and knocking it on the counter and opening it, so
Yes.
that it's,
Well, yeah, if I'm
remember
doing
those?
if I'm doing
We-
carrot on croûte, I definitely use
that's
those.
what you use for
Yeah,
that's what you use for pigs
and you
in a
have
blanket,
to.
isn't it?
You have to.
If you're gonna go, you gotta
mean-
go.
But I like the idea of the wonton wrapper instead, because I'm doing, finish with toasted sesame seed and it's got a little bit of sweet and sour, cook the carrots. So I put it in the wonton wrapper and put that in the oven and
Well,
en
that
croûte.
that particular recipe, that dough recipe, is sticky. So you just take a little egg wash,
Yeah.
brush it, and then put some of your veggie rub, the Rub with Love veggie rub, on top.
Yeah,
Your carrot en croûte, and and go from there. So
I
right,
prefer
another one,
I prefer salmon en croûte myself.
another one is nachos. And again, I love that Pamela put queso nachos. Like
Yeah.
nachos don't usually have cheese. How would you spiff up some nachos? You know
I
why
would
they're
just use-
nachos?
I
Because
would-
they're mine.
Yes.
Get it?
I would stable by having fresh, beautiful corn tortilla, and I would use a beautiful cheese to go on top of it.
That is interesting that you just say that, because that's an effort that people, including myself, rarely make. But it makes such a big difference to make your homemade tortillas, or even if you just take the store-bought ones and fry them yourself rather than buying chips. They taste fresher. But making your own tortillas, you only need half the amount because they're so much thicker and richer. That is a step up, just making fresh tortillas and then
corn
frying them.
is where it's at, man. It's like the corn tortilla versus flour tortilla. I'm corn 100%. I just like the flavor so much better. I think it just feels better, just tastes better.
All right. Crepes. This is right up your alley, Chef. How would you take, now we're talking appetizers. What would be a typical crepe appetizer?
Well, you could do a ham and cheese kind of crepe, and then make it in small. When you make crepes, they're usually 8 inches. They're usually 8 inches. You cut them in 4, and you wrap them up. So you have like
Put a pick in them or something?
So you have a triangle. Then you put your ham and cheese in the middle, and then you roll that like a little cornet.
Oh, like a little flour.
And
like
then
you do
put
your salmon crepes.
Then you put that in the oven for about 2 minutes, so the cheese starts to melt. And the good thing to go on top of that is just a little dollop of Mornay sauce, a good bechamel, grated nutmeg, and cheese, and put that right on top of that crepe. And then that's a nice little bite of ham and cheese crepe. And if you can't have that or can't make it at home, pretty soon at the airport we'll have
What
that.
herb? You got these herbs in front of you. What herb would you use with that?
Chives is the first thing that comes to mind because that's
Mornay, right? The copper fennel would be good in there.
Copper fennel would be delicious. To be more creative, they would definitely be. Oh, do you know what? Thai basil. You put a leaf of Thai basil right on top of that Mornay. It would be delicious to have with that.
Want to go black though? When you heat basil like that, it tends to want to go black.
When it's on the Mornay, so it's already done. The crepe is done. You put your Mornay sauce on top, and then you put the raw leaf of Thai basil on top, and then you eat it with that. So that would give you that. I love the flavor of Thai basil, and with cheese, I think it would be delicious.
In 15 seconds, tell me what you perceive as the difference in flavor between Thai basil, opal basil, and regular basil.
So regular basil is called sweet basil. It's the basil that we all know as a flavor. Thai basil is a little bit more, to me, it's got a bit more kick to it. Like it's got a different.
To me, it's got a little cinnamony quality.
Yeah, it's got a little cinnamon. It's got a little spice to it that the other basil doesn't have. It's got more substance to it. It also, when you cook, like if you do a broth or you do a sauce, Thai basil sustain much better than regular basil. Regular basil, to me, is at its best when it's raw.
Yeah. All right. Tom and Terry in the kitchen, coming right back with food for thought, tasty trivia on Cairo Radio. It's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM. I love when I give Chef Terry a 15-second answer window.
You like that?
I don't know if he's ever done anything in 15 seconds.
I don't think so. I should never have done that.
An answer? Oh, it's not that simple, Tom. Just
All right, my darlings. To the mic, to the mic.
What are your names?
Karen and
Karen
Debbie.
and Debbie.
We don't want people to know you're having affairs with Tom and Terry.
Yeah,
You're okay.
the whole world to know now.
Oh, that's right. I'm on camera.
Pam, you're gonna take all these herbs home?
Yes.
She's making some
You're gonna have a lot of.
chermoula.
You're gonna make more than chermoula.
You know, I was down at the Gift Mart, Seattle Gift Mart, with the
Borage.
rub line
Oh, no.
last Thursday with Carol, and there was a guy from Argentina there who was hawking his line of product, hawking chermoula. He said down there, all the chermoula is made with dried herbs,
Oh.
and then the oil and the vinegar kind of rehydrate them but they don't use fresh herbs.
Makes sense.
And he said, and they use a lot of it because it's all on that grilled meat.
Say what? Yeah, you eat. I have a lot of edible flour. This is a
Is
spicy.
that your typical pickup line? I have a lot of edible flowers.
It works every time.
I didn't know that either, honestly.
Oh yeah, they are definitely. There's different.
If they're not, we'll find out soon. That's one way how we win the contest. We kill the other contestants.
I feed you first, and then I feed you first, and you go.
We did sign the disclaimer.
We
There you
did.
go.
Nasturtiums. Very, very easy to add. The compound butter. You can make a great compound butter with those.
Karen and Debbie, and then so as we told Amy when she was on, you have to look at this where I'm at on the microphone and hear the difference
One,
about
two.
where I am right now.
Like right here.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
Now we're teams.
You're no, we're gonna go 3 Z's, right, Pam?
What?
3.
Yeah, you're a team together.
You're a team against him
Again.
and against me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a competition.
Is there a wager on this?
Yes.
There is
We'll let you
Honor.
know. We'll let you know after we win.
honor and glory is the biggest wager, and then I believe for playing, Pamela has a gift lined up.
Bragging rights is what you got. Yeah, I kicked Terry's and Tom. I mean, I would make a T-shirt if that happened. Yeah.
Oh, see, there's always thinking, Sean. Way to go!
Yes.
I can't wait to send this video to my friends.
Okay,
We're
so-
back at the Hot Stove Society show. We're going to
All
play
right.
some food for thought, tasty trivia brought to you by Rub with Love Spice Rubs. You can find them in your local grocery stores. As chefs, we're always looking for ways to build unique flavors and stock our pantry with edible items that make you a better cook. And these spices are a valuable tool. Our Rub with Love blends have a wide range of flavor profiles, so why not collect them all?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Rub with Love can be found at QFCs, Whole Foods, PCCs, and independent butcher shops, including the Butcher Boys in Puyallup, Double D Meats in Mountain Lake Terrace, and Nelson's Meats in Albuquerque, New Mexico. All right, Pam, we have some ravishing contestants, Karen Gibney and Debbie Hamilton. And what do they have to do? How do they play the game?
Each of the contestants are going to get 5 questions, and someone's going to win.
Not the one that gets 3.
Get the most right.
I'll start.
Do they get a prize if they
Oh, they
lose?
certainly. Oh, yes.
Or should I say, do they get a prize when they lose?
Oh.
We're featuring the new taco spice because it's lighting up America now with the giveaway that you did. So they need to know about it too.
I'm getting some great pictures back from that
Yeah,
giveaway. Yeah.
Yeah, that was successful. All right, let's begin.
Let's do it.
Mr. Otero,
What is the theme today?
it's international.
Okay.
What kind of oil does South Indian cooking mainly feature?
Coconut.
Palm.
Cor-
Is it
Correct.
Palm oil?
It's coconut.
No,
Is it?
coconut.
It's coconut.
Really?
Yeah.
Number 2, what kind of nutrients do strawberries have?
Very good nutrients. Mm.
So true.
They're so good.
There's so many that
Such
you
good
probably could
nutrients. C. Vitamin C.
definitely. You want to add
Do I want to add to that?
B6, K, E, and C, iron, copper, magnesium, phosphorus, folate. Wow, they're worth eating.
I
It's
have
the
a
whole
headache.
damn alphabet.
I have a headache.
Yeah.
So is that a yes or a no on my answer?
You win.
Well,
You guessed a correct one.
Okay.
well, he guessed.
Nutrient singular.
My partner here in crime went like this.
Yeah.
I thought she was gonna go like this, but she only kept this. I'm like, oh,
She didn't
C.
know how to do the K. Yeah. Number 3, what ingredient does Cuba predominantly export?
Food item.
Food item. Ingredient. It's used as an ingredient more than as something that you.
So a spice.
Don't give it to him.
You know, Tom?
Yes.
Think of it as a plant. You see
Oh,
pictures.
plantain. No, that would be South America. Let me see.
I'm sweet on you, chef.
Oh, onions?
Sugar.
No, when he says he's sweet on me, I go, onions?
Sugar.
What
Earning the name
Unbelievable.
Sugar Bowl
No,
of the
sugar.
world.
Okay, cool. Sugar. How about that?
Sugar
I was going
will
to
do.
say rum originally, but that didn't work. So,
That was
Which country is the largest exporter of mangoes?
I'm going to
I'm
go.
surprised by this.
It's either Costa Rica or let's go further south. Let me see.
It harkens back to an earlier question.
Really? India?
Yes. Ta-da!
Okay.
And number 5. What are the 2 main ingredients when you are making a meringue?
Or if you don't have any egg whites and sugar, you should go do something else.
Yay! What was your score, please?
4 out of 5.
Not bad.
Well, I'm going to say 3 because that's kind of cheating on the.
Oh,
3 out of 5.
way
I
to
got
be
3.
way to be stand up, chef.
You're an honest man. Karen and Debbie, you ready for the fun at the mic?
Sure.
Number
So
1.
Debbie looks very nervous. This is nerve wracking. Yeah,
I'm
typically when you're
nervous.
nervous, you can't really think of the answer, and that's great.
That's great. Yeah, we're going to keep you nervous.
Number 1, what type of food is a fagass?
Gotta be something- it's gotta be something from Jersey.
F-O-U-G-A-S-S-E.
Let me pronounce it correctly. Fugas.
Okay, thank you, Terry.
Got to be something from Jersey, doesn't it? Hey, Fugazi.
It's either a bean or a pate.
It's a bread.
Oh, I almost said bread.
A type of bread, usually in some pretty lattice shape, similar. It's a high oil content, like focaccia. Tallgrass Bakery makes an incredible one.
South of France, everywhere.
Number 2, what kind of grain is gluten-free naturally and is used for gluten-free products?
Rice.
Would rice qualify?
Rice is
as
actually a grass, but it's
It's
okay.
a grass.
But teft is what I think you were looking for.
We were looking for buckwheat.
Oh.
Buckwheat is completely devoid of gluten. But I liked where you went, because we use rice a lot. Question
So is that a
is,
yes?
Yes, so you got a yes there.
That was a yes?
Yes.
Oh,
you gave it to him? When you bake a crust without a filling, what is that called? What is that baking technique called?
Blind bake?
Yes!
Good job.
Number 4, where should you always store whole wheat flour? Exactly, because of its high fat content.
Tell us in the mic so
Oh,
people can hear.
refrigerator.
They're nailing it. They're
They're going
you
through
guys,
it.
They're crushing you.
they're already equal with me. 3.
And for finally, what was the first food that was eaten in outer space? It was from a fruit.
Oop.
But it was dried.
Oop.
Dried strawberries?
Wasn't dried.
Wasn't?
No.
I was-
gonna say tang.
That's what I was going to say is tang.
Fruit.
Tang.
No.
Just
Oh,
dried.
First
No,
fruit.
no.
Put it in.
By Jello.
Popular in kids' lunches in little cups.
Applesauce.
Yay!
Could you say that to the mic?
Oh, applesauce.
Okay.
Oh, now it's a winning answer.
No, it's a 4 out of 5.
Right.
Tremendous showing.
Wow.
Tom,
I always think of tang being that one that was.
but do we call tang a
But
food?
they used to.
Tang is a
A
juice,
fruit?
right?
Well, it's a rehydrated juice.
I don't know
Yeah,
if it's
powder.
made from anything naturally
Powder.
occurring on the planet.
I think it probably is. But that was always their claim to fame, as served in space.
Tom, what type of beans are used to make baked beans?
Navy beans.
Haricot.
If you're from the Boston area, you know exactly what kind of bean.
Haricot.
No,
Terry, do you want to weigh in?
No, I'm with you. It's
Haricot.
not navy bean for
it
sure.
is navy beans.
No.
For Boston baked beans,
Yes.
you guys are crazy.
Number 2. According to the American Heart Association, how many egg whites should you eat in a day?
17.
2 egg whites and 1 full egg is the recommended egg intake.
So that's 3 egg whites and 1 yolk. Is that right?
Yeah. So you're off by a few.
Okay.
Number 3, what is bobuti?
Bobuti.
How do you spell that?
B-O-B-O-T-I-E.
It's a cotton candy served at the county fair in Oklahoma.
The national dish of South Africa. A bobuti is made of curried meat and fruit with a golden upper layer.
Oh,
Wow.
I can't wait to try it.
I know that sounds
That's
delicious.
All the way to Oklahoma.
What is nigiri?
Nigiri. Well, there's one I finally know.
Good.
Yeah, that is raw fish or cooked. It could be like an ebi, a cooked prawn, or a piece of octopus or something on top of a little rice patty with a little bit of, typically with a little bit of wasabi smeared on it. So most people, when they think they're going to go have sushi, they think of having nigiri,
Yes.
not sashimi.
Beautifully done. And finally, what is the secret behind sriracha's popularity?
I'm going to say garlic because it's spicy, but it also has a seasoning blend behind it. And it is, the peppers are grown in Mexico. They're having a shortage this year because of a weather issue. And the neighbors down in the San Fernando Valley, I think, sometimes get a few too many whiffs. They get a little upset about all the stuff
They've had some debate over
coming from the factory down there.
the factory. We're giving you that one, but additionally, sriracha contains the chili peppers, which are known to release endorphins. So put you in a
I love
tremendous
dolphins.
mood.
I like to swim with the dolphins.
Dun, dun, dun.
Swimming
And the
with
winner
dolphins.
is
The winner is, of course, Karen and Debbie.
Yay! If you want to be part of the show like Karen and Debbie, you can buy a ticket at Hot Stove Society or just join our community on YouTube Live at Tom Douglas & Co. or buy off Karen and Debbie. Go watch their video online. You're listening to us on the Cairo Radio. Our show is produced by Pamela Hinckley, Sean McFadden, and our editor is Sean Don't Call Me Del Torre. Remember, if you missed any episode of our Hot Stove Society show on Cairo, you can listen via podcast. Just subscribe with your favorite podcast app.
Thanks for listening and have a fabulous weekend.
Sean, can you hit the... Did you have
Thank
a good
you
time?
so much.
Yeah.
See?
Oh, we knew. We heard Debbie and Karen were like, private. The other 742 people, we had to tell them next week.
Agree.
Thank
Can't
you.
have such a big crowd when you two are here.
Okay, we're just going to ask everyone to be quiet on the set.